In this video, I'm going to share with you some of my favorite missionary fundraising ideas. Whether you've just begun fundraising or maybe you've been fundraising for a while, this video will provide you with tips to help you reach your next goal. Now let's get started. Tip number 1 is letters. This has probably been one of the most popular fundraising ideas for the last 20 years. Most people nowadays will type up a template, print it out, and then write in the name of the person they're sending the letter to. Now I can agree this is incredibly efficient, but I think sometimes it can come off extremely impersonal. So the way I'd recommend to do it is handwrite all the letters you send out. I know this will take a lot of time and it's not easy at all and can actually be physically taxing on your hands, but I think it can almost double the amount of people who decide to give to you based off of those letters they receive. Tip number 2, have an easy link to go to give. When we began fundraising, we weren't sent by an organization that already had a ton of giving platforms set up, but we were sent by our local church, and we were the first missionaries that they'd sent out. So in all the information we would send out to people, I would write, type, say out loud the link, which was a pretty inconvenient link. I think it was www.crossfellowship.aware3.net/give. And then you can go there and sign up to give, right? And nobody's gonna remember that. I remember that because I said it a million times over. And so what our pastor had actually recommended us to do and helped us was we bought a domain link that was smithasia.org. And so then we started saying, go to smithasia.org to give. Way easier to remember and super efficient. Now I know not all of you have the ability to buy a domain link and link it to your giving site, but maybe this acts as an actual QR code or something along those lines, and that can help you make it easier and more efficient for people to give. Idea number 3 is utilize social media. This could be your social media, your parents' social media, your friends' social media, but I would say what we did was we posted on our social medias that we were moving to Asia, and then there was people who shared it, people who heard about it through friends, maybe your parents' friends from church, things like that. And so people through that were able to hear about what we're doing, and we even gained some supporters through that who we had never met before or didn't have much relationship with. And so if you can utilize social media, I think the Lord can use that to your advantage and to help equip you for the work He's called you to. Idea number 4, make a video. I've said this a lot, but we live in an incredibly visual world, and to be honest, the attention span of our world is pretty short. Whatever social platform you use, whether that's Facebook, Instagram, though there's some opportunity for it, most people won't sit down and read a really, really long post. Chances are, if you have to click the read more button, you've already lost the majority of the people who will see it. But making a video is a lot easier for somebody to scroll down and then it begins playing right away and it can draw their attention compared to having to read. And so what I would recommend is you make a video and post it on your social channels, and then you can have people share it, and that will help to allow more people to see and hear about what you're doing. Idea number 5 is the choose a box idea. When we were initially fundraising and we were trying to reach our monthly goal, what we did was we created a graphic that had 100 boxes, and they were numbered from 1 to 100. And we asked for people to select a box that represented the amount that they would give each month to support us as we moved overseas. This was a great idea, and a lot of people actually took advantage of it. So whether it's a lump sum you're trying to reach or a monthly recurring goal you're trying to reach, this idea you can customize easily to reach your own specific goals. Idea number 6 is to make a graphic. Like I said, we are incredibly visual people. So if people can see how far or close you are to your goal through a visual representation, I think that would be incredibly helpful to encourage people to give more. This could be a thermometer that needs to be filled up, or maybe a bucket that needs to overflow, something like that. This could help you allow people to see visually how close or far you are from your goal. Idea number 7 is to start a newsletter. I think a newsletter is nowadays one of the greatest tools for missionaries to raise funds and maintain those funds as they're doing their work the Lord has called them to. This allows you to communicate so many new things to people, how they can pray for you, stories of what the Lord's doing in the work they're giving to, how to get to know you maybe if they're people who don't know you super well. A newsletter, again, is one of the greatest tools we have nowadays for missionaries raising support. To be honest, we could create a whole video on this, and actually we did. So check the description below, or maybe it'll pop up here, and it's our video, 9 tips to enhance your missionary newsletter. Idea number 8 is go talk to small groups. Nowadays, most churches have some form of small group, community group, home group. It's all relatively the same thing. I think a lot of missionaries want to speak to a whole congregation, or if they can't, they'll just move on to the next church. And I completely understand that. You're thinking, okay, if I can get in front of more people, there's a greater chance. And there's some truth to that for sure. But if you can get to know people on a more personal level, that will actually be a better chance of them supporting you as opposed to just seeing somebody on a stage. When you get to speak to a small group, you get to have personal conversations with people and get to know them and they get to know you as opposed to just seeing you as a figure on a stage. This really helps. So reach out to your friend's small group, to other churches' small groups, whatever it is, and this will really help you as you're gaining support and trying to meet new people. Idea number 9 is to get advice from pastors. Something super helpful you could do is reach out to the pastors of your church. Meet with them and ask them their tips for fundraising, what their advice would be, if they know anybody you could talk to learn more from them. Not only the pastors of your church, but maybe reach out to other local churches to get advice. Worst case, they give you great advice for you to use. Best case, maybe they'll actually be interested to support you. It's a win-win. Idea number 10 is to reach out to churches. Now, most of you probably do this, and this is very common. And so I'm not going to say a lot on it, but if you can reach out to local churches, you have possibilities to meet with pastors, to meet with churches, and have a broader reach as you're trying to attain your fundraising goals. Idea number 11 is to meet with people and share your calling. Oftentimes, it's hard to gauge how to navigate relationships. Do I ask my close friends to give to me? Are they going to feel obligated? What's the best way to go about it? I think your goal should be getting as many people praying for you and following along with your newsletter as you can. Meet with people one-on-one to share your story. Meet with close friends. Absolutely. Share of what the Lord is calling you to do. Don't try to avoid talking to them about if they're interested in being a financial partner. But I would say instead of pointedly asking them directly and waiting for an answer right then, encourage them to pray about it, to seek the Lord's guidance there. And you can allow the Holy Spirit to do that convicting and work in them. God is sovereign over our fundraising, and He's in control, and He already knows who He's planning to encourage to give to you. When you meet with somebody, share with what the Lord's calling you to do. Share with them your fundraising goals. Share with them how you're having to fundraise support. Ask them directly, would you consider praying for us? Most likely, they'll say yes. Tell them about their newsletter and how you're going to be updating them regularly about ways they can pray and the work that you're going to be doing. And then absolutely tell them that there is an opportunity to become a financial partner. But I would encourage you to encourage them to pray about it and look at their finances and see if that's something the Lord is leading them to do. Idea number 12 is to know the numbers. I'm not talking about the statistics of unreached people groups or non-Christians in the area you're going, though that's incredibly important to know and you should know that. But here I'm talking about specifically the money you're asking people to give. Whenever we met with people, we'd give them the opportunity to give, and then they'd ask us in return, well, how much are you wanting people to give? How are you going to reach your goal? And when they ask, you want to have an answer for that. You could even say something like, if you've done the math, well, if 100 people were to give $30 a month, then we would reach our goal. And some people might be like, oh, I can do that. Absolutely, I would love to do that. Some people might even respond, oh, I'd actually love to give 3 times that. Or some people might say, I can't afford that, but how about half that? And all of those you will be completely okay with. But giving them that ability to know how they can help you reach your goal is extremely important, especially being prepared when they ask for it. Idea number 13 is to care about people. I've had people reach out to me who I know are fundraising their support, and that's all they've ever talked to me about. I don't really have a relationship with them. They just reach out when they're looking for a new financial partner. I completely empathize with that. But it feels like they don't really care about me, but they just want some money. I think it is incredibly easy to tell whether people care about you or just trying to get you to give to them. So when you meet with people, here's what you can do. Care about them. Don't only share what the Lord's doing in your life and calling you to, but ask what the Lord's calling them to. What is the Lord doing in their life? Things like that. This will show that you care about them. You want to support them in the work the Lord is calling them to, just like you want them to support you in the work the Lord is calling you to. Idea number 14 is don't stop early. When we were fundraising, we were incredibly overwhelmed by how quickly the Lord had helped us to reach our goal in a short amount of time. And right as we were on the cusp of reaching our goal, we went and spoke to a friend's small group. Going into it, they had said that it sounds like everybody's interested in helping support you guys financially to reach your goal. We were incredibly excited. So we went to the small group and spoke, And I spoke about how we were blown away by the Lord's provision and how we were basically really close to our goal. Now, it's hard to say that this is what everybody thought, but a lot of people didn't give from us speaking in that small group. And my interpretation is they thought we didn't need it because we were close to our goal. I don't think you need to hide how close you are to your goal, but I probably more phrased it in a way like, we don't need any more support, thanks though, as opposed to saying this would still help us and equip us to be able to serve the Lord overseas. We had extra support when we were overseas, and this allowed us to do things like we were able to buy a whole commentary set for the church that we worked with, things like that. It helped us too as we had to move back at a short notice, things like that. Also, you don't know who's going to drop off in the next few months and who's going to keep giving. So you want everyone to be a partner who is interested and available. And idea number 15 is to pray. When we were fundraising, it gave me a lot of stress and a lot of anxiousness. It's a very daunting task to do, but I would encourage you to take time as often as you can to sit and pray to the Lord, meditate on His Word, and ask Him, Lord, help me to trust in you. You can't do this on your own, and you need the Lord's provision and guidance and Holy Spirit to help guide you. I hope these missionary fundraising ideas have truly helped you. If you enjoyed the video, feel free to follow along as we will release regular content on our website and YouTube channel each Wednesday. Also, check out our course, Modern Fundraising for Missionaries. In this course, we'll teach you email marketing, video editing, photo editing, tons of different things to help equip you to fundraise in our digital age. If you're interested, visit our website, schoolofmission.net, to find out more. And we'll see you next time.